My girlfriend told me this story about an experience she had with the Ouija board while in high school, sometime in 1986. She had a friend named Johnny who was suffering from some kind of illness, who has recently been in the hospital. She and her friend Shelly visited Johnny pretty often, in hopes of keeping his spirits up for quick recovery. One night after visiting Johnny, they were at Shelly's when they decided to try out the Ouija board. After a while, they started communicating with the spirit, who seemed to know a lot about them, even though they shouldn't. After some random questions, my girlfriend decided to ask about Johnny and his condition. The board quickly spelled 24 June 1987. Johnny will not need to worry anymore. And then it went to goodbye. We all thought that the spirit was saying that that was the date for his recovery. We even wrote down the date just in case. The following year on June 24th, it turned out that Johnny indeed no longer needed to worry about his condition, because it was the day he died. I got a call from my cousin that said he, his brother, his dad, and his best friend were gonna be using the Ouija board in their basement. Prior to starting, they took a huge porcelain doll out of the room because it was creepy, and they placed it in the room, face down, in the pile of towels. My cousin took a short break because the board was spouting out nonsense and he had to go take a shit. His dad and his brother started asking questions to the board without him there. One of the questions was, who's in the other room? It just started saying random numbers, and when my cousin came back to his room, his brother was saying that it wasn't working, and that they were just gonna go put it away. He showed him what the last answer was, and then he was like, dude, that's my social security number. It started saying more random stuff. It told my cousin that he would die in the Air Force. Then it randomly just spelled out the word doll. We were all like, what the fuck? They opened the door to check the porcelain doll that they had laid in the other room, and when they opened the door, the doll was just standing right up in front of the door, and it was staring right at us. Everyone freaked and ran out of the house. His best friend burned the Ouija board, and I think he was temporarily nuts for a few months. My cousin, for some reason, joined the Air Force, and he is now at a base in Europe. I was with a group of friends and we were using the Ouija board. We all started asking questions. One of the questions that my friend asked was, what was the name of the boat that I went when I was on a cruise when I was 6? And then it actually answered. We kept playing this thing forever. We had code spot experiences and we would place a candle where the code spots were, but the candle would burn sideways and not straight up and down. One night we all asked how long did we have to live, and this is where it gets scary. Everybody asked and they had about like 50 to 60 more years left. And then it was my turn to ask, and I asked it and it said 10. And I asked it 10 years and it said no, 10 days. I pretty much shit a brick at this point. It said I was gonna get killed in a car accident by a girl named Emma. We would ask it 3 days later and it would say I had 7 days left. Ask it 2 days later and it would say I had 5 days left, and so on. I am freaking out at this point, carrying a Bible in my pocket and wearing a big cross. I finally tell my dad, but he doesn't believe me, so I made out an Ouija board out of a piece of paper and used a CD to show him. It finally started working and he started flipping out. He told me I did not have to go to school the day I was supposed to die. So I didn't end up going to school, and luckily nothing happened. But I'm so scared of the thought of what would happen if I did go to school. I was about 12 or 13 spending the night at my friend's house, goofing around with the Ouija board with him and his sister, and we were all getting sorts of gibberish plus words spelled out. Kinda scaring ourselves for fun, not taking it very seriously. When we got the message, I could see you through the window, and then I could see through his eyes, or something like that. There was just a small window in the basement room where we were, and just a backyard and the woods past the driveway visible through the window. We asked him more questions and it said, I'm under the car. So we somehow got the nerve to go out there with a flashlight and peer under the car. There was this huge black stray cat which was hissing. We ran inside freaking out, and at that exact moment the power failed and all the lights in the house went out. We were just about shitting ourselves. A few minutes later the power came back on. We sat up till dawn that night, scared, and never played that board again.